What's cracking, guys? Bruce Mattson here, your host show, Metric Scout Fantasy Football. The last time I did a rookie mock draft, I said get me to 50 likes, and I'm going to pump you out another rookie mock draft for you guys to observe, and you did it. So here it is, another rookie mock draft, 2 rounds, Superflex, did this the other day. If you want another one this week or soon, hit that like button, another 50 likes, and I got you another one. I'm going to try and bring these out more on the regular, maybe 2 or 3 a week, because we are getting close to the NFL drafts, which means we're getting close to our rookie drafts, and probably the most important thing is having a good gauge of value. Plus, when I'm doing a lot of drafts, I can average the picks out, and then I can get you some ADP as well. But with that being said, let's look at this mock draft. All right, let's start this rookie mock draft. Remember, it's 2 rounds, it's Superflex. And the first player off the board as the 101 is Breece Hall, running back from Iowa State. I can't argue this pick. He is the top skilled player in the draft. When it comes to Superflex, there's an argument between top quarterback and top skilled players, but Breece Hall is the top skilled player in this draft, looking like a top-end running back, and a lot of people even have him as the top 5 option and overall Dynasty running back rankings, which makes sense considering the landscape. With that being said, he's going to hold his value for a bit. Good option here is the 101. At the 102, to no surprise, quarterback. Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty. He's got the Konami code, big play option. Quarterbacks hold their value in Superflex. They're a coveted commodity. Not a bad pick, not a bad option, and he does have some fantasy prowess in his game, so I can't ignore what they did here. At the 103, first wide receiver off the board, and here they selected Garrett Wilson, wide receiver from Ohio State. It's going to be one of the first wide receivers selected in the draft. Elite change of direction skills, been productive at Ohio State. Jump ball artist, strong hands, strong at the catch point. I think this is a good grab here at the 103. At the 104, Treylon Burks, wide receiver from Arkansas. Did not slip much. I've seen him slide in some mock drafts. I've seen him slide to the back half of the first round. Here, 104, holding solid. Size-adjusted speed guy, big body guy, will be in the first round. Good production from his college days. I don't have any red flags really in his profile. I think he's going to be a good asset for Dynasty. Moving on to the 105, another quarterback coming off the board here, and it's Matt Corral from Ole Miss. And you know I like playing with that name because it's fun. But I liked him during the season. He was the QB1 for me during the college football season. And really, I don't see how that should have changed. I don't see why he's moving up and down rankings. I think there's a lot of ambiguity here. I think this is still a good value for him. He's mobile. He's not a Konami code type dude, but he's more like a scrambler that can get you some points on the rushing ability. He's got a strong arm. He slings it deep. He is aggressive, and overall at the 105 spot, this is a good discount for a quarterback. At 106, we have another good wide receiver on the board, and that's Drake London from USC. This is a good selection here. He could be the first wide receiver drafted this year. Good ball skills, gets downfield, bigger wide receiver who moves very well, moves laterally good footwork, good hands, was very productive like all the other top tier wide receivers. I like Drake London at the spot, a good discount. We have another discount here at the 107. Second running back off the board, and that's Kenneth Walker from Michigan State. Dude rushed for over 1,600 yards and has elite attributes on his tape. And I'm talking about vision, patience, playing cat and mouse with linebackers before he hits the hole so he can have as much space as possible when he sees daylight, has more than enough speed to get the job done. I know that was one of the knocks against him, but he showed it at the combine, and he has traces on film where he's showing that. And from what I feel with Kenneth Walker, this is a very good value. I feel like he's going to be one of the top running backs in this year's draft. I think he's going to hold his value well, and with the landscape of the running back position where it's resetting a little bit, I think he's going to be a good get right now. We have another value here at the 108 pick, It's another running back. It's Isaiah Spiller, running back from Texas A&M. Big, thick running back who can catch the ball in the backfield. He's seen a drop in his stock due to not running at the combine, having his vertical and broad jump not test to the thresholds that we really want them to be at. But nonetheless, he's been productive. He may get the draft capital that we need. He may get that. We'll have to see on that. But nonetheless, where we see it right now, this is a discount for one of the top running backs in the draft. Here at the 109 spot, they drafted Chris Olave, wide receiver from Ohio State. Dude's been efficient throughout his entire collegiate career. Good short area quickness with elite change of direction skills. He makes big time plays. He is very sticky with them hands and can get downfield and make catches. Going to be a first round selection. Going to go to a team that's planning to use him early in his career. The next pick in this draft is another running back. He may surprise you a little bit, but it's Rashad White, running back from Arizona State. Tested really well at the combine. Good size, adjusted athleticism, catches the ball in the backfield. His PPR prowess from his 42 catches this year increases his portfolio for fantasy football. Now we just got to see where the draft capital's at. I'm seeing some people pegging him as a day 3 pick. I'm seeing some people being excited, seeing him as a round 3, round 2 option. We're just going to have to wait and see on this guy. Here at the 112 to finish off the first round. One of my boys are coming off the board here. That's George Pickens, wide receiver from Georgia. The value's to the moon here. He is one of those stocks that can go either way, and I love investing on these types of players this portion of the draft because the odds of any of these safe guys hitting is just as attuned to any of these risky guys hitting. So you might as well go to the moon. George Pickens, though, he has the potential to be a top 10 wide receiver. He has the potential to usurp all the top guys in this draft. He has the potential to be the wide receiver from this draft. He missed most of the season, should just call it all the season due to an ACL injury. But the discount of him missing that time really makes him probably the best value in this year's draft. That's it for the first round. Picks 1 through 12 is in the books. Now let's head over to the second round and see what we got. And the first player off the board here is wide receiver from Purdue, our boy, David Bell. Dude's been productive throughout his collegiate career. Early breakout age. Highlight film. Outstanding tape. Outstanding ball skills. Outstanding route running. Good. Change of direction skills. Good. Combine. Bad. Did his stock drop? Not in this draft. 201 selection. Very good. Let's see how the NFL evaluates him. But I'm still in love with this prospect. Moving on to the 202 here. Another wide receiver off the board. We're going to see some wide receivers in this portion of the draft. And here they selected Jahan Dotson, wide receiver from Penn State. And the odds of him getting drafted in the first round still in the cards. He could be a high-end second-round selection. The draft capital is going to be there for him more than likely. That's at least projected that way. And with that being said, we're just going to have to value that into his prospect profile. He does have some good things. His last 2 seasons at Penn State, over 30% market share in each one of them, has some athleticism. So at the 202 spot, this is a good option to shoot at. Here at the 203, we went with a running back, and they drafted Kyren Williams, running back from Notre Dame. As we all know, he failed the combine. He failed it. He didn't do well. However, that does not diminish everything he did at Notre Dame. And the things that he excels at could get him drafted higher than expected, even with the bad combine that he posted. He blocks his face off, and he's very good in the passing game. That could allow him to be on the field earlier than expected. Kyren Williams at the 203 isn't much of a risk either, and there is some good things still in this prospect profile. At 204, Kenny Pickett here, quarterback from Penn State. Yeah, this is a good value here for a quarterback that's going to be drafted in the first round. Might be the first quarterback selected at the 204 spot. You can't ignore this. It's a good spot for him. 205, back at quarterback. Here they drafted Sam Howe, quarterback from North Carolina. Another quarterback who's more than likely going to be selected in the first round. He's got some rushing ability. He's got some moxie. Slings it downfield. Very good from his rookie season and just continued that production throughout. and I could see him being a good discount here in Superflex if he's falling in this area of drafts. Moving on to the 206 here. Next player off the board is a running back. Here is James Cook, running back from Georgia. Draft capital is going to be a big driver to his dynasty value. I feel like he might get that. Big media talks him up a lot, and that may be just due to him being related to Dalvin Cook, him being from the SEC with Georgia, or scouts, NFL teams, or something's talking him up. However, he's a talking piece right now. A lot of people are rejecting him to get some draft capital, but he's a guy you just want to watch. He's got some speed, burst, could be used in the passing game. If he gets in the right spot, gets in the right role, we could have something here. Moving on to the 207. Another quarterback off the board. Quarterbacks in the second round Superflex is always a value. Here they drafted Desmond Ritter, quarterback from Cincinnati. Feel like this is a very good selection due to his rushing ability and 4.5 speed. The downfall's huge. He could be a face planter, but what you're spending capital-wise here for a quarterback that can hold value for a long time on your team is minimal. 207 is minimal draft capital here in rookie drafts. You may think a second-round pick's worth much, but really you got a 10% hit rate, and if you're going with a position that buoys the playing field in your league, then there's no real loss. Moving on to the 208 here. One of my boys is coming off the board here. Good value for him, and that's Justin Ross, wide receiver from Clemson. Productive throughout his early days in Clemson. Would have been one of the top wide receivers in this draft. We would have been talking about him earlier if he did not have the spinal issues. We would have been talking about him in the range of like Treylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, because he's that type of prospect, that type of talent. It missed some time, came back. It wasn't a horrible year. It wasn't a lost year. Still had over a 20% market share. Did do some good things on tape. He just played in a horrible offense. Had a little bit of rust in his game, as you should expect. But he is back and could be a value. Could be our Keenan Allen type player who fell in the draft due to injuries and rookie drafts and became a slam dunk. At 209, first tight end off the board. We know who it is. Trey McBride, tight end from Colorado State. Good receiving profile, good receiving production, especially from a market share standpoint. One of the top tight ends in this draft. I want to see where he gets selected because Big Draft might value him differently. But 209 here, not a bad move for the top tight end in this draft considering things are getting a little slim. At 210, here they selected Wandel Robson, wide receiver from Kentucky. This guy was productive throughout his entire collegiate career. Age 19 breakout age. Broke out with 2 programs, Nebraska and Kentucky. That's something to hitch your wagon to. Has some speed, can play in the slot, good short area quickness, and is a good value here in the late second round. We got some good values still on the board. At 211, Zamir White from Georgia. One of the top running backs in this draft. I am valued a lot higher than this, and I feel like this is a steal. Big Draft is going to tell us that this is a steal come draft time. Imagine he's going to be a day 2 pick. I could see that in the cards. If at the latest, maybe early day 3, but I feel like they're going to value him more than what fantasy gamers are pegging him out to be. 1, they're going to pay that premium for that Georgia helmet, and then 2, he's got some good things on tape. And 3, this is a very shallow running back class. Last player off the board here on the 212 to finish this draft up. One last running back, Tyler Algiere, running back from BYU. The combine was kind of a disappointment. That's for anybody who was expecting 4.3, low 4.4 speed due to the rumors coming out prior to the combine. Tape did not peg out like that. He did show some pop, some burst in his step, a little bit of speed, especially when adjusted for size, but it wasn't all that. It wasn't all that. But very productive, delivers the boom at the point of contact, does have a little bit of wiggle for his size, good size adjusted speed, decent size adjusted speed, and along with the production, and can catch the ball a little bit out of the backfield, you could get like a James Conner surgeon somewhere down the line in his career. Draft capital, again, is going to matter for him. But that's it for our 2-round rookie mock draft. Let me know who got drafted too high. Let me know who fell. One thing I want to know when you're doing these drafts, make sure you know the player pool of the format you're drafting on, whether it's My Fantasy League, Sleeper, Flea Flicker, wherever you're at. Sleeper has been wonky, especially for these drafts lately. You have to scroll through 100 players to get through like Zamir White, Tyler Algiere, some of these other players, and they're really disrupting some of these drafts. So make sure you know the player pool before you go in, or just be aware that things could be awkward. That way, when you're on the clock, you can zip right through there. You know what's happening, but you heard it here first if you didn't know. These player pools are getting a little wonky, and just be on the up and up, especially you got a rookie draft coming up. If you're in NFL, take a look. Take a look before you do your draft. Know that player pool. Know that player pool. That might be the best rookie draft advice you're going to get all season. Before you even jump in there, know your format's player pool. That's going to help you out a lot. That's because there's a draft, and one of these dudes, maybe like a Trey McBride, Zamir Smith, a Desmond Ritter, James Cook, somebody, they just fall. They fall. I saw Justin Ross fall to the 4th round, and it was on an MFL draft. And it's early, before they had their player pool really established. It was right when they had it set up. He fell pretty much because he was hidden. He was hidden in the list of names. People were drafting on their phones and stuff. They didn't get their selections in right, and he fell in the draft. Again, you want to have your own rankings. Marking them off is probably the best thing to do, but a lot of people don't do that. But just make sure you are prepared before you enter the draft. And that is probably the best tip I got for you, because I do see this happening a lot. I see it every year. I see it in startups. I see it in every format. The ADPs and rankings have to adjust when things start off, and right now, the rankings on Sleeper, this was done on Sleeper, this is where it was conducted, and right now their listings are off. It's causing some of the drafts to be off a little bit. So I just want to let you guys know, just to be aware, and I'm going to cut you straight whenever I see something. That's one of the reasons why you need to hit that subscribe button, because I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to help you out with your teams. I'm going to give you all the information you need. But again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.